I'm going to break down probably one of the best trading days that I've had, not in terms of money, but in terms of the positions that I caught and the consistency of the trades that I actually caught. So we took a lot of similar setups on pairs that do correlate together. So that's one thing that I wanted you guys to grasp from this video, is understanding that some pairs do move alike, and if you have a bias on one of them, you can take it on another one. We traded USD JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY, and DAX. Those all correlate together, but let's hop right into it. I don't want to waste your guys' time. All these trades were taken around the similar time. Now, when I mean similar time, I saw the same setup on multiple different pairs. I'm just gonna go one by one here on DAX 40, so it's a pair that I traded in the past, and it's the pair that I have the longest win streak with. And I truly feel that this is probably one of the easiest indices to read and to be able to catch consistent trades over a long period of time. Or DAX 40 is honestly probably one of my favorite pairs to trade. The reason why is because it has a lot of volatility. The way it follows price action is so simple. So if you notice, price did come down, tap into this area here. We do have that level of resistance now becoming support over here. So we do need to keep that in mind. On the 4-hour time frame, we also have a target zone, which is up here, and we had another zone which is sitting right over here. This is how the market looked when we started to hop on here. So then I started to go down and I saw this rejection here on the 4-hour time frame. That's when I went down to the hourly time frame, and on the hourly time frame we start to see a bullish candle closure. To wait for a 30-minute bullish engulfing, which we got right there. Waited for New York session. New York session starting to come in now, and during New York session we started to form a small no trade range. But if you also notice, we have this level of demand over here that just got liquidated as well. So if we do start to come back into this range here, breaking this lower high structure, which is sitting over here, this lower high structure, remember guys, market structure is sitting right here and right here. So if we can come up and break that market structure right there, I'll be in for a buy position. And then we go down to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we start to get that bullish engulfing candle. I'm anticipating that we're actually going to hold this level here of support with a clean double bottom and a bullish engulfing candle coming from it. So I do know that price is going to give me a pretty nice push. I waited for this candle to come down, and then once I got a bullish candle closure here, I took this entry right over here because we started to form a level of support. This is previous resistance now becoming support here, so we could use that as a confluence. Not only that, if you're paying attention to this SMA over here, we're starting to come back and reclaiming that SMA and forming a strong level of support on this SMA as well. So if you guys do want to catch positions based off SMAs, you really want to make sure that we are above the 8 SMA and go towards that side. If we're above the 8 SMA, we're looking to go bullish. If we're below the SMA, we're looking to go bearish. Right over here, we reclaimed it. Price formed a strong level of support at it, and then we get a bullish confirmation. So I had a stop loss of a small stop loss, which was sitting down over here, right below these lows, because if we do come back into this range, I want nothing to do with that. And I was just going for a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, targeting this previous low right over here. I want to stay as consistent as I possibly can when I'm using risk to reward, because that's all you're going to stay consistently profitable. If you're this type of trader to take a 1 to 1, then a 1 to 3, then a 1 to 2, you can't really test your strategy in the correct way. You want to make sure that what you're doing is as consistent as possible, so that if you do need to tweak it, it won't be tweaking your whole strategy, you'll be just tweaking certain parts of it. Took that position, price did show us some drawdown, no need to worry, we were still holding that 8 SMA. Price then shoots up and hits our TP2 with a nice little rejection, and I actually closed my full position there. But the reason why I said that this is probably one of my best days of trading is because if you notice, look how this trade just freaking ran. Never came back to stop me out at break even, and this thing just freaking ripped, and I don't even think it ever comes back down. Guys, overall pretty freaking massive trade. If you guys notice, about a 1 to 6 risk reward ratio we probably could have caught on that trade. I closed at a 1 to 2 because you guys know I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, this trade ran for a 1 to 6, I closed at a 1 to 6 and I made 6%. No, I'm gonna keep it as transparent as possible. I closed at a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio because that's what my strategy says to do. And I'm not looking to force positions to go for 1 to 6s, 1 to 7s, 1 to 8s, 1 to 5s. No, I'm most of the time going to be looking to close at my 1 to 2 because that's what my trading plan says to do and my strategy says to do. But we were not done yet. So this is the position that we took right here. We said buy German 30, beautiful 648, very light risk. We saw that we were breaking that support, so we didn't want to go too crazy on this one. And then we get that TP, TP2, TP3, TP4, banger freaking trades all around, guys. Then we moved on on to trading our Forex pairs, which is our bread and butter here. So we went on to Forex and we started to look at USD JPY and GBP JPY. We took this trade within 15 minutes of each other. So the reason why I did that is because GBP JPY and USD JPY move extremely similar. So let's start off here on Euro JPY. Let's go up here to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, you guys can clearly see that we are extremely bearish. So now we want to go ahead into the 4-hour time frame and start to draw up some zones that give us some interest here. So this is definitely a level right here that gives me a lot of interest. We have an area over here that gives us a lot of interest as well, and we have another zone probably sitting somewhere over here. We have a clear downtrend coming down over here, but if you notice, we have a push that came from this area that rallied up so freaking high. So this is what I'm expecting here at this level. I'm bullish above this zone here. If we can't break this zone here, I'm still bullish. So what I did was go down to the lower time frames, and on the 30-minute time frame, I start to see a setup that I really like. Somewhere around here is when I started to look at the markets. If you're noticing, we also have a small trend line here, which is showing me lots of volume to the downside. Every time that we pushed to the downside, we didn't really wait too long like this. Price just came down, consolidated a bit, came down, consolidated a bit, but this is more choppy than not. Also, we're creating lower highs. So this is when I decided to take a buy position, sitting right there with a bullish engulfing candle, and I just kept stops below that previous candle low. And now I was looking to target, again guys, my 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, looking to target this area up here. So anywhere within that zone, I was looking to maybe move my stops to break even at this area. Whenever I take a position, I'm moving my stops to break even at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio every single time. Price decides to then just shoot up here and give us our beautiful 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. Now, notice this move as well. It freaking ran like crazy. Same thing. We could have caught a 1-to-6 as well. I believe it ran a little bit more, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it did keep running. So, I mean, guys, this trade was an absolute freaking banger trade, bro, and I'm honestly so happy with the way I took it, because we have this strong level of support here now, confirming right over here. Once this candle here closed, it was confirmed that price didn't want to come down and break this level, and it wants to respect this rejection, because we formed a bullish confirmation right over here. So even if you took it right here, you could have kept stops below these lows, and then you still would have caught a pretty banger trade. So beautiful trade over here on USD JPY. Then we moved on to GBP JPY, sitting right over here. So on GBP JPY, it's a very similar setup. If you're looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, we still have that zone over here that we were respecting in the past. Not the cleanest zone, but I was bullish on USD JPY, so that means I'm bearish on the Japanese yen, and we do have a level of support here that we are currently holding. Then I went down, I tried to get a target zone of like this area over here. So this is kind of the range that I was looking to trade on this specific day. Using my bias that I had on other pairs, I can go ahead and trade this on USD JPY the same way I would trade GBP JPY, because they do correlate. So now I went down to the hourly time frame. On the hourly time frame, we have this level here of resistance that we did need to keep in mind. But we also went down to a 30-minute time frame, and then we just waited for our New York session. New York session came in, we liquidated the lows over here, so we grabbed liquidity to the downside, meaning price could potentially push back up here. We took a buy position right here on this retracement right here. We took that buy position while this candle was open, put a stop loss right below. I put a stop loss on the 5-minute time frame. You guys are going to see why. At this point, price would have to break the 50 and break the 8 SMA. Now look at this, guys. We have a bullish crossover from the 50 SMA to the 8 SMA, so that's giving us signs that we can definitely look for a potential push, a big push, because now price is giving us that crossover and pointing in a direction, right? Notice what happened here. Price gives us that crossover and points the direction that it wants to go in. Now it's giving us that crossover to the upside here, so that's something that we definitely want to keep in mind. So we were going for a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. Same thing, guys, nothing too crazy. Just a 1-to-2s all around to here. We have that 1-to-2, boom, and we left some money on the table once again. So pretty much the same setup here on GBP JPY. It's the same exact thing that we saw on USD JPY, right? Here you get that breakout, you get that push, you get that double bottom here sitting as well. and you get a pretty strong level of support all the way to the left. So same setup, different pair. I take a lot of the similar trades as what you're going to see on this channel. You're never going to see me taking a completely weird, awkward trade. You're going to see me be pretty consistent with the strategy. So the reason why I'm showing you guys is so you guys can be consistent with it. But this trade absolutely ran for 250 pips, 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio if you guys wanted to hold it. But we were not done yet. We decided to trade a Euro JPY about 15 minutes after as well. The Euro JPY was a similar setup, same exact thing. Remember guys, if JPY pairs are moving similarly, you can then look to take a position. I actually like this position a little bit better than the rest of them because it was just a breakout trade. We have this structure point here. We waited for New York session here. So New York session was coming in right now. So right over here is when I start to look at the markets. I noticed price had that push. Price had a higher low. Price was respecting this previous higher low as well. So we have higher low, higher low, higher low. Not only that, if you notice, we have a shoulder, head, shoulder, to potentially buy at the break of the neckline here. So whenever you guys take a trade based off of head and shoulders, you want to buy at the break of this zone here, because you know that if price does start to trade above this zone, we have a strong leg to the upside to potentially target this area over here. I waited for the confirmations to come to me. We had a lot of confluences already. Price decides to push back up. We start to execute that position right over here. Once we start to break up above there, we put our stops below or both of our SMAs, and then we were again just looking to target a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. We have that area sitting right over here. Boom. Instant profit. I love this trade so much. It closed me out right up there, but price did decide to continue running. So this is probably one of my favorite trades I took on this day. Head and shoulders pattern, very simple trade. Break of the SMAs as well. Starting to switch market structure to the upside. By paying attention to these higher low formations, you guys can catch trades just like this. But yeah, overall successful day for the Forex pairs for sure. And then we give them a little breakdown. So GJ ran for a 1 to 10 for whoever hold that monster move. UJ ran for a 1 to 6 for 180 pips, and EJ ran for a 1 to 5 for 150 pips. For our indices, we caught a 1 to 6 as well. But I closed at a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. I made 2% on each trade. On the day, bro, 8% on the day. I was pretty happy with that. And guys, you don't have to catch the whole entire move. Everybody thinks that if you want to make more money, you need to catch bigger moves. That's not the case. You guys need to be able to catch the correct trades and be able to hold a consistent trading plan. That's what's going to get you to that. If you guys switch up your strategy every single time you take a loss or a win, bro, you're not going to be consistent. So try to build a consistent trading plan. With that consistent trading plan, you can then look to trade based off of it. And if you do need to tweak certain parts of it, it's going to be a lot easier to tweak. But if you do something different every single day, you don't really have a plan. This is confluences that I've used in the past. This is things that I've seen in the past work out for me. And I truly feel that you guys can do the same thing. As long as you put your brain and your willpower to get this down, make sure you guys journaling all your trades and learning from each and every trade. I think that's exactly what you guys should do. If you guys do want to be a part of the Signals, 3-day free trial is definitely still up, so make sure you guys join that. But good luck.